Alright, we have green bars, we have a live counter ticking up, which means hello there everyone and welcome to the Storytime Network as we stare as even in the far future of the Origin system, we still stare at phone.
New phone, who dis?
I don't know how to answer that question because I don't think anyone has ever asked that question unironically.
No, I don't think so either. Still fun to ask, though.
I mean, yeah, but like... Though to be fair, how likely do you think that is to happen? Like, I'm sure it has occurred in the real world. Also, we have Twitch drops enabled, so that's nice.
Interesting.
Be the sort of thing to pay attention to if we actually had any viewers. But you know, we're
this
trying
is
our
where I
best.
put my viewers. If I had them,
I was gonna like that. God, we are so old.
we're not that old yet.
It's like we're old enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can you just like grab one more viewer for us, and then we will begin?
I already got two.
Oh well, fair enough. But yeah, how have you been?
I've been alright. Life's a bit hectic right now for reasons that we don't need to discuss here.
We've already discussed them, in fact. And you don't get to know unless you join our special $10,000 tier on Patreon.
We don't have that.
I'm joking, we don't have a $10,000 tier on Patreon. Yet.
It'd be funny if we did, just because that there's no way in hell anyone's going to do that.
Yes, so do you know what's funny? One of my favorite content creators slash podcasters of all time, the Jesse Cox and friends on the Chilluminati podcast, they do have a $10,000 tier, which is for 1 month. If you pay $10,000 just for that month, Jesse Cox will believe in aliens. It is very obviously a joke, but like, it's funny that it's there. It's never going to get used, but it's very funny that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where I am on this whole scenario. But yes, what are you... I'm gonna need you to, like, take us in a direction, Jack. That's kind of...
Oh god, I need to steer? Oh no.
At least until I, like, get into the flow state, because this is a game that, like, it's fine if you get into the flow state, but it takes, like, you gotta limber up first, you know what I'm saying?
That's the truth with a lot of games, actually. Like, I know I've only recently gone into Hollow Knight, but that's a game I think, like, you need a few minutes to warm up before you're, like, really into the rhythm of things. Because otherwise, if you just, like, toss yourself into a difficult boss encounter...
You will just die.
At the start,
yeah,
you will die.
No, it's with any time you have a platformer that you haven't gotten back to in a while, you should... Do you know what? I don't do this, but I probably should. Do you know what might be a good rule of thumb?
What?
Just like every time you start a new platformer, or every time you go back to a platformer you haven't played in a long time, like, start up, if you're going to, like, play for a while, start up a new game first. Right? Like, start a new game, and then try your best to, like, get the muscle memory back, because I'm sure there might be muscle memory eventually, but, like, once you eventually have the muscle memory back, you can just, go hog wild, but until it's back, you should avoid any sort of, like, heavy strain in that general direction.
Yeah.
I know that could just be me. It's a different stroke situation.
I mean, not all games allow that because, like, not all games have, like, multiple save slots. But I think that mostly applies for older games.
So the thing is, yes, and if you are playing an older game that doesn't have multiple save slots, I guarantee you, there is a mod for that. And I think I didn't actually say it, but I feel like the slip of the tongue, like the slight lisp there, made it sound like I said slave slot instead of save slot. And I apologize for that, but at the same time, and this is depressing to say, there are probably games that do have those.
I don't even want to know.
There's a lot of isekais are, you know, game adaptations sometimes, or vice versa.
I'm actually trying to think, because I don't know of many video games in which you can actively participate in the slave trade.
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh boy.
I mean, aren't you one of the, like, Crusader Kings people?
I have the game, but I haven't really played it.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, basically any, like, sort of 4X game or, like, historical game of that nature, there's gonna be a little bit of that.
I mean, it's not really in Civ, but then again, like, you can do other shit in Civ that's pretty fucked up.
No, like, I feel like in games like Civ, it's not there because it's implied. Like, everyone's sort of just like, yes, this is the only way this entire community / economy works, is through the slave trade.
Yeah, there's like, you can pick the fascism system of government, which I don't really like. That one doesn't really have the perks I prefer in most systems of government.
You know, I'm glad that that's, what was I gonna say? A deal breaker. What's funny is...
It's not the only deal breaker, I just...
Yes,
I do
I know,
dislike
that's...
fascism as a matter of principle, but it's also...
Yeah, that's the joke I'm making, yeah.
I know.
It's,
Excavator stalled. Find another fuel cell and take it to the
Oh yeah, just not the build I think is... it just doesn't fit the build.
and what's funny, the reason I say that that's a deal... it's good well, the reason I joke that that's a good deal breaker is that, for a lot of people, they would probably pick fascism even if it was, mechanically not what they were going for. Because it's fascism.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. People who are simps for fascism aren't really smart.
No, I know, but, they do outnumber us by a lot.
That's why people tend to write intelligence as being on a bell curve.
So, okay, I am in a stats class. I still have not intuited how a bell curve works, or what it does, or what it is.
It's a normal distribution.
No, I know no, here's the thing. What I mean by intuited is, there's a lot of concepts where I hear it and immediately my mind just the connection is there, the neuroplasticity is there, I have it, like, on tap. With stuff like with the stat stuff, especially bell curves and normal distributions, I need a minute. My brain needs to, like, be like, yes, this file is over here, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not, like, as immediately available for recall. Like, obviously it's there, it's just not as immediately available as everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am, like, a big fan of when, and this is probably visible from my gameplay habits, of games where you can kind of just, like, turn your brain off and just go with the flow. And I find that those games are different across demographics and people, obviously. But what are some of those games for you? We can compare.
So like a no thoughts, head empty type of game.
Yeah, where you can just
don't
like
really need to strategize much.
where you can even like be listening to a lecture and still retain all the material of the lecture, just because you don't actually have you can fully concentrate. All of your brain power is actually on the lecture because none of it is being used for the thing you're watching or playing.
So I'd say like racing games, platformers,
Really?
sometimes fighting games. Depending on if it's particularly crunchy or not,
Okay.
gameplay wise.
Are you you are a fighting game person then?
Not really.
Okay.
But I do play a couple fighting games, mostly Smash Bros.
Okay, right, okay. There are definitely, there's a lot of, discourse in the fighting game community.
I am not involved in that, and I refuse to be involved in that.
No, I don't mean that kind of discourse. Do you know what the fighting game community's biggest, issue is?
Oh?
Tiny player base.
Oh, really?
Just explicitly, that's just what their major problem is. And the reason it's as much of an issue as it is because, that has led to something of a vicious cycle, and this is something that occurs in MMOs as well, where people will want things in a game, and because that thing requires perhaps more resources than the developer has available, depending on their size, it draws in less players, which means less resources for the developers actually willing to do like the new things, which means that the fighting game community is essentially a stagnant pool. There is innovation in the sense of how can we innovate on this fighting game specific thing, not in the sense of how can we innovate in terms of like other directions. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Basically, every fighting game that gets made now is like a small variation on a fighting game formula that is like well established.
Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Like, obviously, for the people who are really super invested, obviously there's a difference, right? Like, but for casual players, which the majority of people are, right? Not everyone is like going to fly out to EVO to like compete in a tournament where the prize pool is about $6 and a Chipotle coupon. I'm not joking about the. Well, it's usually like a little bit higher than $6, but I'm not joking about the Chipotle coupon. They are actively one of the biggest sponsors of the FGC.
Huh.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, so that's interesting because it basically means they need new players to have more resources to innovate, and they need those resources to bring in new players. And it's very difficult for them to like sort of find the point where they can actually where they have very little wiggle room, essentially. So yeah, so when I mean when I say discourse, I'm talking about that, not about the Sephiroth Luigi Mpreg conversation.
God.
You play Smash, you know how it is.
Look, I know, but I don't go there.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to actively go there. Speaking of Gooners, hi.
An artifact
Yes?
has been located. Proceed to the dig site.
No, I was just laughing at the transition.
Yes. So speaking of Gooners, guess what? Who I'm gonna be meeting with sometime next week or the week after.
Uh-huh.
My human sexuality professor.
protected from enemy fire.
It's funny. After 10 years, the Aero Ace dude who keeps talking about the horny stuff is taking the human sexuality psychology course, which is just, why did it take me 10 years?
Human sexuality is a fascinating thing, though.
Yes, though I also have learned things that I'm glad I learned, but also make me...
Where did you learn that, by the way? I'm curious.
Part of the lecture.
Okay, what was the source on that? Because I do want to know.
His actual reports had the ages of the people involved.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he wasn't hiding it. He was also a frequent collaborator with several Nazis. And I mean the literal ones. Like one of the people who was like one of the more abhorrent people who I will not even give the dignify by naming. When he was on trial, the judge was like, "Hey, so it seems like you're pretty close to this Kinsey guy," and then he was like, "Yes, a lot of those atrocities I committed were actually he asked for them so he could put them in his book."
Oh, was that what's his face? The highest ranked dude who got tried, or was it?
No, it was. I'm not gonna even. I don't remember the name because I do not want that to take up brain space for me. But it was one of the lesser known ones.
Okay. Hey, if it makes you feel better, at least some of the high-ranking Nazis died horribly.
Not enough of them. Anyway,
No.
but yes. So, do you have any questions you'd like me to ask the professor?
Ooh, yes. What's the difference between bisexuality and pansexuality? That one always trips me
I think
up.
I can answer that. I think. Because
Oh, really?
we had again, half of our lectures are on that sort of topic, especially recently because we're going into the history, and
What's the difference?
It's a label that doesn't mean a lot.
Okay,
that's
so it's literally semantic.
It's a semantic thing, yeah, and a lot of those labels are semantic things.
It's a matter of semantics.
How do you feel about Slavoj Zizek?
Who's that again?
I think Polish guy who talks about things.
That's not super specific.
I told you his name.
I don't remember him, partially because I don't know how it's spelled just from how you said it.
S-L-A... It's not spelled how it's pronounced on the surface. S-A-L-A-V-A-O-J. And then Zizek with the little... Zizek is spelled how it sounds, but it's got the little, Polish accents.
Salavao...
S-L-A-V-O-J.
S-L-A-V-O-J.
Yes.
He's a philosopher, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with
Philosopher, but, I think a lot of his, training is in, so he's actually formally speaking a psychoanalyst, who just does a lot of philosophy.
Good old neo-Marxism. Interesting.
Yeah, he is apparently considered one of the more, not well-respected, because he's a very polarizing person, but he's considered one of the...
I hadn't figured that.
He's one of the more, contemporary Marxist theorists you know what he's about, just from you can tell from the basic Wikipedia blurb. But yes, he brought up some very interesting points that I had in mind until I started explaining who he was, and then I forgot them, because that's how mental illness works, and I hate it. So yes, any other questions on that sort of
Let me think, because
Additional fuel cells will be used to restore its shields.
some are pretty straightforward questions I could probably just look up.
yeah,
Or,
do you have
getting a
any of
memory
the real nitty gritty specific or elaborate questions? Those are the ones I'd be looking for.
Yeah, I can't think of any of them top of mind.
So let me give you some examples about what I'm going to be talking about.
Oh boy.
We have mostly been covering, and I don't know if we're gonna cover it in the future, but a lot of the topic is on like neo-sexuality, right? Like the more modern sexual revolutions, and I'm like, okay, so can we talk about Gooners for a bit?
Has just been rewarded.
Right? Like I literally want to ask like how he feels and like what his thoughts are on the sort of obsession with 2D and the movement away from reality to fantasy.
This excavator is fully
Because I understand why mechanically it happens. And not gonna lie, my term paper is probably going to include a lot of that sort of thing. But
So why mechanically does it happen, Fuzzy? Please tell the audience.
the answer, I mean, you know the answer as well. It is.
I know the answer, but I want to hear you say it because it's funny.
The answer is capitalism.
Yeah, it's not funny in a ha-ha way.
Yeah, it's funny in a yes, we laugh so we don't cry way. Yes, as with all things that are sad in our lives, the answer is capitalism.
Shocking, I know.
Also, I learned something very interesting that I had not considered. So, you know that the idiots are being stupid. And you know you
what
don't
else
need...
is new?
No. And you know that they are, like, pushing back against any sort of, like, intelligent thought. But I have heard a very interesting perspective that I think is probably correct, because a lot of people have said it, about why they're, like, the real deep-rooted reason they're actually doing that.
Oh.
They are doing it as a reaction to capitalism. As in, they are also suffering, like I'm talking about, like, not the billionaires, but, like, the average Joes.
Yeah, everyone's suffering under capitalism unless you make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and the thing is, they are suffering under capitalism, but because they have lived so long in a worldview that capitalism is us and everything else is them, that they are unable to even, like, think about that. And or so they're trying to they are doing this thing to avoid cognitive dissonance, because they are aware, like, deep down, that their problems are caused by capitalism, but they have been so conditioned to refuse to acknowledge that they will blame literally anything and everything else. That's why no matter the flavor of bigot, they all have the same basic rhetoric and ostriching and head in the sand and refusal to listen to logic. Because the things that they are actually upset about are the things that they have been convinced are, like, their tribe.
Excavator destroyed.
Yes, it all comes back to tribalism.
Yes, but, like, it's slightly more complex than just the tribalism angle. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I know. But
Yeah, it's like, so yeah, that's a perspective I hadn't thought of before. But I was like, oh yeah, they're just stupid. It turns out they are not only stupid, they are also willfully ignorant, which is kind of worse, actually. Because that defeats the point of... willfully in the sense of subconsciously willfully ignorant.
Yeah, it's,
But yes, let's talk about something more pleasant, like making fun of Gooners. Now, here's my thing with Gooners, right?
An artifact has been located.
Yeah.
Proceed to the
I don't
site.
necessarily have a problem with, like, the core principle.
That's it.
In the sense of, like, okay, yes, I get it, you
We'll take a look inside.
have a libido and you enjoy, you know,
Excavator is ready to go. Keep it
jorking
powered
it
and
to
protected from
pictures of
enemy
pretty
fire.
ladies, or boys, or anything in between, and sometimes animals, which I am not as okay with, but, like, I guess as long as
Look,
you're not actually like doing the thing.
my one thing with porn and dorking it to porn is as long as no real life people were hurt, or animals for that matter, in those weird cases, then there's nothing inherently wrong with it necessarily.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm very
I'd
much.
much rather they be jorking it to like drawings than like actually hurting people.
Yes,
or animals
we
together.
know exactly what particular subgenre we're talking about, I believe. Right? Like there's a big one. Yeah, you know. Yes, we don't have to say it. You also know it will occur to you if I ever say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to get into it.
Interestingly enough, that is also, considered a mental disorder.
So
yes.
that is an interesting. That does bear a question of like. I understand why it's a mental disorder because it is. Because like it is. Because remember, a mental disorder is not the thought itself. The mental disorder is the harm that the thought causes.
Either internally or externally, yes.
Yes. So, yeah. I'm kind of just of the opinion that, like, if that is a working coping mechanism for you, sure.
Yeah.
Now, am I, like, gonna say, oh, well, that's just wonderful, let's just never address that at all? No, but I feel like we do not have the societal capital to address an issue like that.
No, it's something that pops up too frequently, for one. Not to mention, like, it's something that we need to actually be able to treat in a way that's not, like, gonna just cause more hurt. It's just it's just like, it's not great, but at the same time, like, no, like, it is our responsibility as people who, like, have studied or will continue to study this to find, like, the most ethical solutions for these kinds of things.
Oh, speaking of studying ethics and kind of dilemmas that make you want to die, for legal reasons, that is a joke. Please do not form one me again. I still have some trauma to work through in that regard. Anyway, I am at a crossroads, Jack.
The crossroads of destiny.
Well done, Tenno.
I mean, unironically, yes.
Elevator is ready to go.
Would you like me to, like, get into it, or?
Go ahead.
So, I have some options after I graduate, because the funny thing about getting your bachelor's degree is then you have to actually think about everything else that comes after your bachelor's degree, which is considerably more difficult, as it turns out, and considering the fact that it took me a literal decade to get a degree that is quote-unquote supposed to take 4 years, you can see how that's a problem for me.
Yeah.
We were talking about the whole, that issue earlier as well, right? About how... God, what is it? People with the same conditions can have vastly different levels of functioning.
Yes. Not to mention, the conditions have this thing called a list of potential symptoms, and there's like often people who have.
Yeah,
so you know how disorders work. Like, there's a set of possible symptoms, and like as long as you have X number out of Y number, then you are considered to have that symptom. But like sometimes the X number is like just over half the Y number. So two people can have like basically opposite halves of that list.
Yes, I was going to say, some people have the minimum number of symptoms required to qualify for the diagnosis, and some people have symptoms that even the doctors didn't know could be there.
Yeah.
A Definitely not speaking from personal experience there. No, why would I possibly... How would I possibly know that?
It's okay, Fuzzy. You don't need to cry.
Anyway, yeah, the principle here is that I'm probably one of the lowest functioning people you know. At least in our circle, I am the lowest functioning person I know, I am aware of.
Yeah. Well, at least... Yeah, people that I regularly interact with anyways, yeah.
I'm talking just about our mutual circle.
Yeah.
In our mutual circle, I am the lowest functioning person I'm aware of. But anyway, so I have options, and we all know how scary those can get.
Oh, yeah.
After I graduate, I could... yes, thank you for the note, Space Mom. Also, just from the voice and imagery of this, the character who keeps popping up in the little HUD, I'm sure you know exactly what they were going for.
Maybe? I don't have a good view on the HUD.
Okay, this is a good point as well. Can you just pop into the stream and make sure the game audio isn't too loud?
Yeah,
but yes.
Give me a sec.
So
This excavator is fully powered. Additional fuel cells will be used to restore
my
its fuel.
options thus far are go straight into my masters, take a break or try and work on the family business, liquidate all of my savings and assets in an effort to open a board game cafe, or those are basically my three options, right? And the master's option has two sub-options. Because you see, the master's option depends on whether I actually want to study something I'm interested in, or if I want to go get a degree for a job.
Your hard work has just been rewarded.
Because if I get a job, the most compatible, like quote-unquote normal person job for me in the therapy, in the psychology context, is to become a counselor or therapist of some sort.
Yeah.
So the process for that in my province is not the most convoluted in the world, but it is like it is a process in that it involves getting your master's degree and then getting licensed with the provincial authority for that. And the thing about getting licensed with the provincial authority is that there's a few very specific universities that allow you to do both at once. There's 3 in the entire province where you can get both the license and because it's an organizationally backed thing, you can get the license and also get the master's degree at the same time. Here's the problem. The things that I'm interested in studying are all things that would require me to stay on at my current university, which is not one of those few universities that has that license.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. So I have to decide between either studying what I want and then having to go through 1,000 hours of guided placement. Literally 1,000 work hours.
Oof.
Or I can just go through the motions for a different thing while getting the certification.
Yeah.
Also, hail Paimon. But yeah, so that's my option with the master's degree. So what are your thoughts on this, as someone who has been through the song and dance already and made your choices?
So part of the issue with the master's degree is that you have to get well ahead of it. You need to be working on that shit during your fall semester.
Functionality at 100%. The process
You need to make sure you have
successful.
your ducks in a row, pun not intended, and make sure you are able to actually do all of the necessary things to get into the university or into the graduate school. Make sure you have met all the requirements. That is to say, because a lot of them have specific requirements. At least in my experience, and some you have to know some professors to write you recommendations.
Oh, I've got
well.
that covered, and I think my GPA should just barely squeak through. So I do have some of the things covered.
Okay. Yeah, you just there's a lot of stuff you gotta have covered before you can.
But I'm sure you know me well enough to know exactly what kind of student I am. You can. It is probably exactly as offensive as you are thinking. You can say it. I won't be mad.
How dare you say we piss on the poor? But yes.
No, no. Okay, why that reaction? Because you weren't actually sure, or because
No, because I was making a joke. You know the whole meme of saying this website has piss poor reading comprehension.
No.
How dare you say we piss on the poor?
Yes, no, I know. I've also read r/curated Tumblr, but no. I'm talking about the reaction to when I said, you know what kind of student I am.
I actually don't really necessarily, because I know you hyperfixate like a lot of neurodivergent people, but
oh yes,
I don't know how that translates to your studies. If it's like a case of you actually being able to,
so
I know you have you have overexerted yourself in the past, but beyond that, yeah.
No, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, it's that's not the direction I was going in, and I'm just going to go right there for brevity. I am very much the teacher's pet.
Ah, yes. I was like that in high school.
Why only high school?
Not so much in college. I for some reason I just didn't do a good job of connecting with my college professors. I don't know why. Maybe it was just the setting was a bit more distant because there were more students in lectures.
That would do it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am the person who will literally stay after every class and talk the professor's ear off. And funnily enough, they tend to like that because they like it when people are interested in and passionate about the things that they teach. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
People like affirmation that the things they do are worthwhile. Shocking, I know.
It is very shocking, yeah.
But yeah, I just yap all the time. And they're usually pretty okay to, happy to yap. So it's very interesting to see how many professors are like, you would do well in a master's program. Because apparently, part of a master's program is your ability to yap.
Ooh, yes!
Hold on right here, I'm gonna start a yapathon.
But
Let's
yes.
go.
But yes, so basically what I'm getting at is, because I'm a teacher's pet, I have some of the groundwork laid already, but you can see what the issue is, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. The issue is...
It's just the technical issue of the university thing. Right? I have some confidence in being able to get into either one of those master's programs. The problem is the divide between, studying what I actually want to and, everything else. Any thoughts?
Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. I'm sending in my awards for to Mill right now. But yeah, it's the case of like sometimes you have almost everything you need, and then there's that one stumbling block that's really fucking you over. And yeah, no, I get it.
I'm just like trying to figure out what would be better, because like I don't know if I can manage investing the time, and it's even not even just the investment of time, but the investment of, how should I put this, the like going into multiple separate things, sort of. Like that's what I'm a bit unconfident on, whether or not I can like manage.
Form is exact.
To accomplish what I need to accomplish in that
Milliseconds when he realized that each time he cleaned something
in that context. So like, did you consider a master's degree, or like what was your?
I tried applying for a master's degree, but I didn't manage to get into the program.
Yeah, it's like, and that's another thing is like, you are going, it's one of those things like with, it's like a job search essentially, where you are going to have to apply to a bunch of different programs. Like you are going to have to...
I applied to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and even that might not necessarily be enough. Because like, you know, supply, demand, competition, the world is on fire, all that stuff.
Supply exceeds demand. Supply exceeds demand.
I wish. Well...
No, the supply of students exceeds the demand for students.
Ah, yes, okay, that... I'm stealing that. I hadn't heard that before, and I am stealing that. But yeah, so if you were to give me, completely binding legal advice,
Oh boy.
yeah, what would you suggest I do? Or if you were in my position, what would you do? Maybe, is the better
I'd
question.
apply to the master's programs. I'd spread my net wide and see where that takes me. Because
Foundry has items for you, operator.
you only lose options by not applying.
Well, yeah,
If you apply, those options are there for you to accept or refuse if you change your mind. You can always change your mind after you've applied, but if you don't apply by the deadlines that they set for you, then your options aren't there.
Yeah.
You have less options, so just get yourself those options now, and
well, okay.
once those options are all out before you at the end of your college, at the end of your undergrad career, then you can decide what to do. Sure, it's picking the ultimate decision down the road, but like, you will still have more options when you make that decision. That's my 2 cents on it.
No, that's a very reasonable opinion to have. It's just it's not something I can ever not stress about.
I get it.
Also, look, this game has everything, like critters and like wildlife conservation, and it wouldn't be an MMO without, and wait for it, fishing.
Hell yeah.
But because
Let's get
it's
some fish ease.
But because this is a future game about space ninjas, the fish are also robots. Also, are there even fish here?
Fuzzy, have you played Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes, I am aware. I went through that.
You are
song
aware, or you've played it?
I have almost beaten the first game, but then I lost focus and never went it again. But I was like, you know how
Actually,
it
similar to
works.
what happened to me. I got like half to 2/3 of the way through the first game and just never wound up getting fully back into it.
Yeah, that's just how. That is our cross to bear, as it were. Can I stand here?
Good old ADHD for you. I've done that with a few RPGs here and there. I still need to get around to finishing Persona 5 Royal. I want to finish, I just never find the time to because it's just... I'm at the point where once I get to the end of this stage,
Yeah,
I'm going to have like a 3-hour stretch, basically, of game, and it's very hard to find the time for that.
For me, it's not even a time issue. It's an issue of I just get distracted, and once I've like not done something, it's why I have never gotten past Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. And I probably never will. Because I cannot leave and then go back to something. I'd have to, like, not even for, like...
You're an area completer, right?
No, not even that. I mean, like, if I stop playing a game for a day, I will likely not go back to it for, like, a year. I will play it... well, a year is, like, the biggest thing, like, that's how it is with me for, like, something like Skyrim, where I'll get really into it for, like, a week, and then not touch it again for, like, a year.
See, I don't have it quite that bad. I do get to a point where sometimes...
So Skyrim is the worst case for me, but, like, I do have, like, more moderate situations, but yeah. Go on.
I was gonna say, like... I have played games where I've just, like, don't play for, like, a few days or a few weeks, and then I just jump back into no problem. The reason I didn't play it was just because I was busy for a hot minute. And it's not quite the same as what you're saying, but I do kind of get it. Like, if I fall off a game for too long, I have a hard time getting back into it. Because I have to customize myself to, like, the mechanics and shit and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just a time.
Yeah, so for me, with Baldur's Gate 3 as the primary example, I just can't seem to get back into a game if I've not into it, and I just end up restarting. I played through the ship so many times, Jack.
Maybe you should just, like...
Skip the tutorial?
Yeah, skip the tutorial.
No, even then, I've played up to the camp so many times, but then something comes up and I miss a day of play, and then for some reason my brain is just like, well, we're done with that now. Even if I am still having fun, I find it difficult to get back into it.
Lizzie, maybe you should, like, remove your brain and examine it and see if you can find a way to repair it or something.
Listen.
I'm joking, of course. Like...
I'm kind of not, but that's not a conversation for the stream.
No.
But, yeah, But yes, that is my general thing with games, and that's why games where I can just... Like, that's why roguelites and MMOs are so much easier for me to manage. You can just, like, plug in and play.
Yeah, you just do a run and you're good.
Just pop in and, like, be a space ninja and then catch robot fish for a few hours. Right? That's just... There's no...
Yeah.
Like, there's no stress there. There's just, like... Brain off, head empty, just...
No thoughts, head empty, only vibes.
Yes. So, yeah, I have completely forgotten the point I was getting to.
Don't worry about it too much.
But yeah, other than the fact that I am mentally ill, yeah, the master's programs, I am pretty sure I will be able to get in. Just generally, if I... Like, in the worst case scenario, I will drown them with reference letters. Because I have, like, at least 5 or 6 profs who have given me the go-ahead. So I will, like, do that. I will also... And this is something I don't know if you considered it, in hindsight, it might be for the best considering the career you've gotten into. I might be able to make use of the disability card a little bit as well.
You will have a much better time doing it than I would.
Yes, because I live in a country.
You live in a country that, yeah, well, let's not get into the politics.
We'll not get into the politics, but I will, if you want after stream, I will explain why I say I live in a country, and just leave it at that.
We don't need to go into the details of it necessarily.
Okay, yes, no, I get it. But yeah, I have, that is also an option available to me, as I can play that particular card to perhaps relax requirements or see if I meet some sort of quota. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's why I think I'm thinking about this perhaps sooner than I need to, because it's a bit, like, more likely for me to actually have to face the dilemma. So I might not be able to kick the can down the road for that long, as much as I would love to. But yeah, I will probably... That's one of the things I'm gonna talk to my, Goonology professor about. You're not gonna...
No.
acknowledge that?
I don't know what you're referencing, actually.
Just the fact that he's his subject is human sexuality, but I called him the Goonology professor.
I thought you said Lunology, that's why.
Oh, okay, yes, no.
Which, could also
Ludology,
work as
I
a
guess?
pun on psychology.
Well, listen. I don't think we're allowed to use that word anymore, but otherwise
Look, we have the privileges.
Yes,
we have the card.
we have the L word card. Yes, we are allowed to say that.
Look, we're allowed to use the crazy cards and all the adjacent cards. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure we won't get our cards restricted or anything.
It's awfully rude of this robot fish with rudimentary sentience to desperately avoid my electrified hunting spear.
Yeah, very rude of it. Should be more considerate of you, specifically.
Ignore the,
You know
yes, go ahead.
You know what's funny? Just when... On a different note, but related to electronics, isn't it always annoying whenever you see, like, something saying, like, download time, estimated X minutes, and it just constantly changes so fucking much?
Yeah! So I understand, like, what the value of dynamic, timings are, because it's always giving you the most accurate information, but the thing about the human brain, right, is, we are not logical creatures. Sometimes, we don't like the accurate thing. We want... People, as it turns out, often prefer the comforting lie or the, like, easily understandable lie to the more complex truth. Shocking. Completely unrelated to current events.
God, I never would have considered that.
But yes, Department of Redundancy department aside, also, have you noticed that I've named my dog Modigliani the First?
I hadn't, actually. What's that in reference to?
So, okay. I have a term for these now. I wasn't aware of what vocal stims were when we last had the conversation.
I love vocal stims.
Yeah, so...
Like the zhuzh.
No, for me, vocal stims are often multisyllabic names that I like saying. So, I brought it up, the last time I brought this up, and I have this distinct memory because I got crickets because I wasn't explaining it properly, because I have autism and communication is hell, for me, is, I brought, and this was years ago, but I remember this because that's how the mental illness works, Glorfindel. The Elf
Oh,
Lord.
Glorfindel.
The
That's a good name.
Yes, Glorfindel the Elf Lord, whose name is much better than Galadriel's husband, old Teleporno himself.
Galadriel is also a good name, though.
Yes, but that's just because it's Galadriel. She can make any name look good. But yes, I had the, we had the conversation of, y'all have, isn't it just like a real fun name to say? And then you guys were sort of like giving me crickets, and I didn't realize, oh, my vocal stim is just multisyllabic names, and guess what Modigliani is?
A multisyllabic name.
Yes, so that was also a vocal stim for me for a long time.
In fairness, there are some names that are just really fun to say.
Yes, so Modigliani, if you don't know, for those who don't know, was one of the artists around that time when art was being very artsy. I'm not really an art guy, I just know, like, I like looking at pretty pictures and pretty colors. But Modigliani was one of those guys around the, you know, the Picasso times. I'm sure he started some sort of movement or was part of some sort of movement. You know how they were back in the day. He probably
Yes,
also
they were arting
did
all
crimes.
Over the place. There's
Almost
so much art all over everything.
And like all artists, he probably did a lot of crime. Of the really unpleasant variety, if you know what I'm saying.
Look.
Yes. Go ahead.
Look, just because Van Gogh is from that region doesn't mean he was involved in any war crimes, okay?
No, Van Gogh's crimes were much more personal.
I know. I am joking.
But yeah, yes, but before we get into but yes, so Modigliani was a vocal stim, and do you know what's funny? I had no idea who he was for the entire duration of the stim. And it never occurred to me to look him up for some reason, and perhaps it's because my brain subconsciously knew the results of that, because the moment I looked him up, I stopped stimming with that and moved on to another stim. Not because I saw anything egregious, mind you. I don't have that level of moral public consciousness. More because I just, like, for some reason my brain was like, okay, I know what this is now, so I can stop thinking about it. Right? So it's one of those weird little things, as it turns out, actions have consequences, Jack. I don't know if you are aware of this.
Well, I have no idea that consequences have actions. What? But yeah,
You're pissing on the poor again.
I am being silly, yes.
Yes, I know. God
yeah.
damn it.
There are some words I think are just really fun to say as a general rule. Like, shenanigans, for example, is one of my favorites. There's also ones like discombobulate. Is another fun one.
No, yeah, so I don't like, because I think that's another thing. For me, a stim cannot be something I actually use in conversation on a somewhat regular basis. I use those words, and therefore they do not function as stims for me.
Whereas if you use a name for, like, a random historical figure, like, let's say Nagakura Shinpachi.
Yeah, that's too many syllables. I have a bit of a sweet spot for syllables. That is a few too many.
What's your sweet spot? 4 or 5?
I think Glorfindel and Modigliani are both 4, aren't they?
Glorfindel is 3. Glorfindel. Modigliani is 5.
So 3 to 5 is my range.
3 to 5. So Nobunaga is in your sweet spot, puzzle.
Yes, but I know enough about Nobunaga that, like I said, it has to be someone I don't know about, I think.
I know, I'm just saying.
Yes,
Nobunaga
technically
is in your
speaking,
sweet spot,
Nobunaga is in my sweet spot, but as with everything related to Nobunaga, it's been done to death.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you're not remotely wrong. There's, like, so many iterations on Nobunaga. It's ridiculous.
Just like,
But yeah, I'm trying to think of random Japanese historical figure with a name that
No,
you might
a lot.
like.
No. It's probably not going to be a random Japanese historical figure because I know too much about random Japanese historical figures.
Even Iemochi?
Yes, I have played Dynasty Warriors games. I'm familiar with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Iemochi is not a Three Kingdoms.
Yes, I know.
figure.
That's the joke.
So though you are familiar with your boy Kong Ming.
Of course. I'm actually probably much more familiar with like Zhuge Liang. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name in the proper way because I'm going to.
Zhuge Liang is probably the best.
That's no. I'm sorry, Jack. I don't.
Again, best I can do.
Yes, this is why I don't even try, and I'm just like, you know who I'm talking about. Let's just leave it at that because I will probably. To be fair, he also did crimes, like a lot of them.
Literally everyone in that time period did crimes. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be real with you, Fuzzy. Like, every single historical warlord would be war crimes Georg by modern standards.
Well, there are certain people who are very much trying to change that, but we won't get into that. We've agreed not to do the.
No, we're not gonna get into modern politics. But like
Yeah,
like I'm
no,
saying, like,
but no. The other thing, no, I didn't even. That actually brings us into an interesting little conversational tangent. I really, really dislike the statement. There are two statements that will absolutely trigger me in like the actual usage of the word trigger. Like,
yes.
I don't mean in
One
like
of them
in the
product of their time, right?
Yes. One of them is product of their time and or it was a different time, and the other one is it is what it is.
Okay, it is what it is one like.
I'm
Oh,
aware.
I get it. Like that one, that one I think would be contextual, right?
So yes and no.
Like
Because
if I say it is what it is with regard to my current circumstances, my personal current circumstances, that's one thing. Whereas if someone says it is what it is with regard to societal injustice, that's a different thing entirely.
actually no, in my personal opinion. Because I think my distaste for it is the same. But like the root distaste is the same. I'm not saying I get mad at you when you say it. I'm saying it's not a you problem, it's a more societal problem. But I dislike the notion of acceptance in the face of basically anything negative. And
So you don't like that stage of grief. That's your least favorite stage of grief.
well, okay. And your psychology background is showing because you are psychoanalyzing me in a way that I did not predict or consider, and you're actually making me think about it now. But
Sorry.
no, this is what we're here for. This is why you went to 4 years of college or however many years it took you. I'm not going to. I'm the last person who's going to assume that
It
number.
took me 4 years and change.
Yeah, no, yeah, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, oh, by the way, in this game, you can also mine, so you can craft things later.
Wait, first we mine, then we craft. Minecraft! God.
La,
That
la, la.
movie made $1 billion.
So, okay, this may be a hot take in our circle. I am happy that it did.
Okay, it didn't quite make $1 billion. It made $957 million.
Whatever the case may be, I'm glad it did well. Because, is it high art? No.
Fuck no.
But it's a fun children's movie for children that has a lot of genuine joy in it. And I feel like we're kind of missing those.
Honestly, like, yeah, no, I get it.
Not every movie for children has to have some sort of deep, like, philosophical food for thought that you only realize like 40 years after the fact when you are old enough to understand these things. Not every movie has to be that.
Most of the most successful movies of the past 3 or 4 years have been movies that, like, over the past 3 years, at least one of the top 3 movies, in most cases 2 of the top 3 movies, have been family-friendly movies.
But that's not even what I mean. I just mean, like, sometimes...
No, I think that's a good thing, is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, because it's just like, sometimes you just, like, want a thing that's fun for the sake of being fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, turning your brain off, while, yes, the media literacy of our society is completely cooked, but that doesn't mean that we have to overcompensate by making every single piece of art some sort of, like, deep think piece.
We don't?
You joke about that, but that is genuinely one of the, like... It's like, do you know what human beings are really bad at?
I could name a few different things, but go ahead and say your thing.
Moderation. And middle grounds.
Fuck me if I don't know that.
Yeah.
It wasn't always about the preservation of life.
But yes,
All right, have at it.
it's,
A pleasure watching you work.
just... I haven't
Next you return.
managed to ever find a comfortable sweet spot in my own life. So I do not expect society to do so as a whole, because of just, like, statistically speaking, how much dumber people are than a person, right? Like...
Yeah, what was that was from Men in Black, right?
Yes, that
The
was...
person is smart. People are dumb.
Yes.
Panicky animals.
Yes. Among other things, Men in Black was not the first to say it. That's just the most well-remembered.
Famous, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I was getting at is that
Taxmen have imposed strict limits on the mining ventures.
yeah, humanity has a tendency to overcorrect in every single aspect of life. All of them.
Not even necessarily overcorrecting, just like overdoing things.
Yes, and it sucks. Like, a lot. But, at the very least, we do have some things that are a bit more like, but yes, I agree that we had far too much of that sort of, turn your brain off and vibe sort of entertainment. But we have also had a history of overcorrecting in the opposite direction, and that's why I'm glad the Minecraft movie exists and was as successful as it was.
You know what? It's interesting. Like, I'm annoyed that the Lilo and Stitch remake made so much money because I am fucking curious over some of the changes in that.
Yeah,
But
no,
at the
no,
same
no.
time, it's not even close to the highest grossing movie this year. You know what it is?
What?
A little Chinese movie called Neja 2.
Listen, I'm not gonna get into that.
I'm not gonna get into it either too much, but it is, it's kind of wild that made $2 billion.
Isn't that like a new record?
I believe it is the highest grossing animated film of all time, and highest grossing non-English film, yes.
Wait, what made
It
more
is
than...
the fifth highest grossing movie of all time.
Wait, I thought I don't remember, like, wasn't that list mostly in the 1 billion range? Or was
In
that
terms
domestic
of
gross?
overall highest... So there are a total of 7 films that have passed the 2 billion mark. Like I said, Deja 2 is the
Good
most recent
God.
one. What was that?
No, I'm just, like, lamenting the slow dissolution of the human spirit, but, go on.
The other 6 are the first 2 Avatar movies at first and third. Avengers Endgame is in second.
I thought Avatar 1 was at 1 billion. When did it go all the way up to 2?
Avatar 1 did pass 2 billion. You might be thinking of Titanic. Which did start above 1 billion, but passed 2 billion off of a couple re-releases.
Okay, so it's counting re-releases. Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Because Avengers Endgame actually initially surpassed Avatar, but then they did a re-release of Avatar.
I'm sure it will...
Specifically because I'm pretty sure...
James Cameron was salty, yes.
Keep it on top.
Yeah. No. I'm sure eventually... The thing is, this is a bit of a let-them-fight situation. Because from all accounts, James Cameron, not necessarily like the sort of person I want to associate with. I don't know if he's done anything too abhorrent, but he is a big name person in Hollywood. I'm sure he was in a certain series of files simply because I don't think there's anyone whose name is known publicly who isn't in those files.
So... James Cameron, the worst thing I know he's done is he nearly drowned Ed Harris on the set of, I think it was, what was it? It was the film about going deep underwater. I think it was The Abyss or something.
Yeah, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? That could be describing a lot of films, Jack.
It was a James Cameron film starring Ed Harris. That narrows it down, I think.
I mean, it does, but, like, I can still make the joke. Anyway... listen.
But yeah, Titanic is actually the 4th highest, counting re-releases.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was going to say, because before we got sidetracked by being mentally ill, is I was like consuming media about Neja before he was cool. By which I mean I'm familiar with his actual Chinese, like the source material. Because I read a lot of Chinese web novels, which I believe I just will not shut up about. And the reason I won't shut up about it is because it's a goddamn autistic special interest of mine that I share with apparently no one in our social circle except Shade, and our schedules do not align enough for us to actually talk about it regularly.
You know, Fuzzy, you think you could do a research paper on Chinese web novels?
Yes! I could do so many research papers on Chinese web novels, Jack. I have an entire notes folder on them.
Do it. Do it!
No, if I do apprentice under my professor of ludology, because, like, the professor who's teaching my human sexuality course, funnily enough, would be the person I would want to study under for the master's thing.
Yeah.
Because because I believe he said his major project right now is like research on sex workers and like updating like actual scientific truth about sex workers and things like that. He didn't go into detail.
Very interesting field to study.
Yes. I also was considering getting into that field. So I'm like, oh, you're already doing that. You wanna hire me as a TA and then give me money to be mentally ill on the university/government dime?
Best way to go about it, right?
Yes. But I think the thing that's yes, I could do a lot on Chinese web novels, but the problem is if I want to actually study with him, I cannot get my certification.
Right, you mentioned that.
Yes, that is my big dilemma, right? Like it's either the topic of interest or the certification. I can't do both, and that's pissing me off.
If you could get the certification somewhere down the line, it'd just be more of a pain in the ass, right?
So the reason I am hesitant to even think about that is because I have limits. I have kind of already hit my hard limits. The Masters, I can probably do one more thing in my life before I need to be institutionalized. And once again, that is not a joke. I am already looking into long-term care homes. We laugh so we don't cry. Anyway, maybe they'll let me stream from the care home if I actually have the cognitive capacity to remember how to speak.
Oh, you're spiraling.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's one of those things where I think I ain't got much of that struggle left in me. It has to be one or the other at this point.
Well, you have time to mull it over.
I suppose, yeah, but it's just like, but yes,
So, do you want to change tack for a little while?
yes, go ahead,
Because we have
please.
been on this subject for
I
a hot minute.
I mean, I am always welcome to changing tack, but, like, I need someone else to, like, take the helm at that point, you know what I'm saying?
You want Jesus to take the wheel? What? That's
I would love
the,
for Jesus to take the wheel. Do you have any idea? I bet Jesus would be really into Warframe.
I wonder what Jesus' career would be if he were around the modern day.
He would probably have been executed by this point for, you know, trying to, like, we have examples. Anyway,
Anywho, the actual topic I wanted to
what
discuss.
video games do you think Jesus would be into? Is our next topic after we talk about yours. Sorry.
Creating fantasy races.
Ugh, I thought you wanted to go in a, like, less dicey direction.
No. I want to go into the juicy stuff, Fuzzy. We're going juicy. Yeah, like, with regard to fantasy races,
being useless, but yes, go ahead, sorry.
So fantasy races, I think, are something that's both interesting and very tricky to tackle, because there's a case to be made for, like, completely trying your best to make something completely original versus basing it off of mythology from the distant past.
By which you mean Grandpa Tolkien.
Well, not all that needs to be ripped off of Tolkien, to be fair. Like, there are other fantasy races besides elves and dwarves.
Yeah, but no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, like, I've been running into a slight dilemma with my world building for what I'm working on with my big project, and that's like I'm trying to round out the set of fantasy races I have been working on with a few more, and I kind of want to, you know. On the one hand, I don't want to crib too much from Tolkien and other Western cultures, because, like, you always get, like, the same handful, but at the same time, you run into the issue of appropriation. You know?
I was gonna say, I knew where you were going with this the moment you said the word Western. I'm going to stop you real quick, though. There is one thing I feel bears mentioning. You realize that the moment you said the word original, the point kind of fell apart, right? Like, there is no such thing. It simply does not exist.
You can try and be as original as you can, but pure originality is none of them.
I think, like, there was this one copper merchant in Acadia who managed a little bit of it, but we don't...
God.
We've already had, like...
We've done the bit.
We've had 4,000 years to do the bit. We've been doing the bit for, like... Wait, no, 4,000 BC, so we've been doing the bit for over 6,000 years. It's fine. We don't need to rehash it. But yes, yes, there is no such thing as originality, and you should just not try.
Not try to be original, or not try to do things different?
Not try to be wholly original. Right? You could... Obviously, I welcome, like, being creative and doing things differently, but you should never, like, think that what you are doing is original. Because if you...
Yeah, I do
if you
remember
focus too much on that,
some...
you will run into trouble.
Yeah. I remember seeing someone mention, I forget it was an author or a scriptwriter, but they were like, I had this original idea. Oh, it was Sanderson. He was in his writing of one of his stories, he was like, I was debating whether or not to kill off the mentor character, and at first I was not going to kill them off, but then I was like, you know what? No, I can't. I kind of have to. It works a lot better for the story if the mentor dies. Like, it's not about being original. It's about what works for the story.
Yeah, it's almost like the tropes become tropes because they work.
Yep. Tropes are tools in a toolbox.
And as it turns out, not most people tend to use tools that get the job done. Shocking, I know.
What? No. But yes. Anyways, with regard to the fantasy races thing, you do run into the issue of if you're going with all the like do you go with the Western races so as to not offend anybody? Do you try to carve in a somewhat more original direction, or do you like do some research and try to do stuff outside of the European framework?
Do you know what is not really it's not good in terms of like writing quality more so than anything else, but it is one of the funniest things you can do with this.
What?
Do a race that is well established in a certain culture and then just make them all like just give them all a Brooklyn accent. Like, you know, like find some sort of like specific Tibetan spirit that is like a major part of their mythology and have that be a race, except they are just all, they look like that, but they're all just dudes from Brooklyn.
So, funny thing, I was actually, so my world building is pretty grand scale, because it's like whole ass planets inhabited by individual races. So there's like, a lot of the different races have like multiple nations and ethnicities and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I got you.
And one of the nations on the Orcish planet, one of the nations rather, is basically like Mad Max Australia. Like just.
Are you, Jack? How familiar are you with Warhammer 40k?
I am vaguely familiar with some aspects of it. That is where the inspiration comes from.
Okay, yes, because I was gonna say you are describing orcs in Warhammer 40k, which is not a bad thing.
I'm not gonna have the imagination magic bullshit powers.
Oh,
because
you have
I know
no idea, but
kind of flip the fucking balance of the magic system I have.
You say that, and yet it is actually a pretty balanced system.
It doesn't fit with the setting.
No, I know it doesn't. I'm not saying that, but like, do you know how it's balanced though? Because it's really funny.
Please say it.
The way they balance it in Warhammer 40k is that theoretically it has one of the highest ceilings in the setting, but also the orcs are very stupid.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, that's the balancing mechanism. They can literally alter reality with their imagination, but they're too dumb to actually do it competently. So they're
too dumb to fully weaponize it. Makes sense.
Yes. No, but yes. Okay, I was gonna say I'm glad you're at least aware of it, so that you know where to go for more details. But go on.
Yeah, like the thing I'm running into though is like I'm trying to find the right balance between like making something that doesn't utilizing something that doesn't pop up a lot in fantasy literature while also like not being insensitive about it. I know like part of the solution to that is, you know, just doing thorough research and making sure to like depict it respectfully rather than like sloppily and half-assedly.
Slop can be respectful, but that's more of a genre / tone conversation than an actual detail.
But yeah, like, so some of the races some of the fantasy races I'm thinking of doing are like Sphinx, Jin, maybe like an Ashra type race. because like four-armed people, basically.
What you're saying is you're really not afraid of the appropriation allegations.
I want to be cautious, is the thing. Like, I don't have any firm plans for the last group. Like, Sphinx is mostly, like, Mediterranean, like, Greco-Egyptian.
The thing about the Sphinx, right, is that they're not, like, an established race. They have two myths.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of it. That's
so
like,
it's like, there's a lot of fertile ground to work with there. The Jinn are, like, a bit of a gray area because they've been used a lot in, like...
I will say... Whether it's Jinn or also it's actually not pronounced. Funny enough, you are going in the opposite direction for those. It's not. There is no like, and I'm going to say this in the worst way possible. There is no ethnic flair on the pronunciation. It's just pronounced Jinn. That the correct pronunciation is just Jinn. Yeah.
Okay.
That's just how. Yeah. That language has a lot of like. Very difficult pronunciations, but this is not, like, one of them.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but whether it's Jinn or Ashura, I'm very familiar with both, so you feel free to, like, consult me on those.
Okay, then. I will gladly do so.
Yes, no, I swear I've talked about this at length.
You probably have...
I've spent hours on stream...
Fuzzy,
yes.
you gotta remember, ADHD. I forget shit
that is
all
fair.
the fucking time.
No,
all the fucking time.
One of the greatest proofs of my personal struggle with ADHD is that I forget that you have ADHD sometimes. Because that also is a... I'm not trying to say... You know what I mean, right? I forget that... Yeah, anyway. Look, empathy is hard.
Empathy, what's that?
Some kind of food. Anyway,
hope it tastes good.
Yeah, so, you are definitely going to have to be a bit more careful with the Shura and the Jinn, but they...
naturally.
But they're, like, you know, there's worse things, and you know a guy who is very familiar, so you've got that going for you, at least.
Yeah. There's also, like, some things I'm definitely not going to try to make into individual fantasy races. Like, for example, some certain Native American mythologies that have not been handled well a lot. Like, two types of things in particular.
Yes, I know exactly the two things you're talking about. Thank you once again, Jim Butcher, for making us conflicted on a lot of things you do. You know what I realized?
I think Jim Butcher did better than most people do with it, to be fair.
No, he did. Do you know what's funny? I've just come to a realization that you're never going to be once I tell you, you're never going to be able to acknowledge it. Jim Butcher is like Rick Riordan for grown-ups.
Fuck, you're kind of right. Though I did think Rick Riordan is a bit better at what he does.
I would agree with you until he decided to include characters who are of cultures that are not white. And then he kind of dropped the ball, like a lot.
Yeah,
not out of malice, and that is what I'm trying to get at. It's not that he's malicious. They're trying from a place of good faith. They're just, not succeeding.
I think he did handle it better than Butcher did.
Yes.
And he has had the good sense to be like, yeah, I did fuck up on this. I'm sorry. Like, he has at least, come out and apologized for his handling of it. So, there is that.
Yeah. But overall, yes, I understand where you're coming from, but it's not you. So, and that's the thing I think we need to always remember. You have to sort of set a boundary of a different sort, where it's the issue of overcorrection again. Right? Like, people are obviously they're so you know what I see as the argument most often?
Oh.
Hindu mythology, because it's still a religion that is actively practiced. Like
yes.
you should
that is like the most dicey one.
But here's my counterpoint to that. I did not mean to do that.
And trank.
Whoops.
Trank.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Understand.
No, that was my bad. No, you are justified in yelling at me for that one. As you can see, this is the wilderness conservation park where you find endangered or at-risk animals, and then, you know, track and trank. Probably
Not track and shoot.
not shoot your magic death spear of corruption and fire at it and blow it into meaty chunks. Probably sometimes he yells at you for no reason, but he was justified in that particular instance.
Anyways, you were saying about your
Yeah.
thing before you were so rudely interrupted.
Well, yes, it is a religion that is actively practiced. However, like with many religions, the average person practicing it probably is not going to be mad or think that literal Ashuras and Devas are being misrepresented,
Appreciate the tactile.
right? Like in a physical space.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's similar with Buddhism, but it's the same way where so you know how we acknowledge and we hold as self-evident that the people who are like have outcry over the use of like angels and demons in fiction are stupid?
Yeah.
The people who would be mad about the use of Hindu mythology are those people in the Hindu religious space.
So, would
Generally.
it be different from like using? So would using like Ashuras as like a template for characters be different from using like say one of the Hindu gods as a character in a story?
Arguably no. Because again, there are people who use the literal Abrahamic god in their stories, and the only people who are mad about that are the people who we should just ignore as a matter of course.
I do know that a lot of like Japanese stories use like a lot of
kill god,
a lot
yes.
of figures from Hindu and Buddhist lore and such.
And it usually involves weaponizing them, killing them, banging them, or all of the above, sometimes at the same time.
Yeah, they do make the character. They do make the character designs quite attractive for a lot of them.
Now that just makes sense, like from a human perspective.
See, this one needs medical attention.
Look, you've seen the fate designs I showed you for some of the Mahabharata boys.
Let's not get into fate. I'm gonna, because I don't want to start yelling and get my blood pressure up. Even though technically I am on blood pressure medication now, so you know that's fun.
Oh yeah.
It's not for.
Oh yeah.
Go
We
ahead.
are going to be doing that character design tier list, by the way. Still, at some point.
Unfortunately, I believe it's just the two of us unless we can get someone else in the fate spirit.
I'm pretty sure Mill's going to be joining us. I kind of want him to join us.
Yes, actually, we need a canary in the coal mine because we're already in too deep. We are already cooked. We need someone who is like who can maintain an appropriate level of distance.
Mm-hmm. But yes, it will be funny to see to hear Mill's reactions to some of them because Oh yeah, they just recently released the last big name, one of the last big names in the Shinsengumi as a servant.
Oh, also, incidentally, I don't know if you've heard about this, but I heard they recently added more hops. They recently added more hops, people.
Hops?
Okay, so apparently that reference is not as commonplace as I thought.
Is it a reference to basketball?
No, it's a reference to, like, it's referring to beer production, but, it's,
yes.
It's supposed to be, it's of the same ilk as the kids are so tired of their Razor scooters that they have started playing with Razor blades. Razor blades. You know, that very dry, like, the joke is that it's not funny sort of humor. It's a reference to one of those things. Which I'm parroting from Northern Lion because Northern Lion is kind of, the voice of a generation, even though he really doesn't want to be. He's really upset about the fact that he's the voice of a generation, but half of the streamers who are, like, really big and, like, have come up in the last few years, guess what? They're almost all Northern Lion fans.
I know so little about Northern Lion, if I'm being honest.
Which is your loss, honestly. Just know that he's very old, and that's he's an autistic person whose special interest is being neurotypical. And, like, not in, like, a toxic way, just, like liking sports.
We like sports, and we don't care who knows.
No, like, so, he talks about...
reference?
No, because I'm not familiar with that. But no, so, like, he talks about... Essentially, the thing that draws a lot of people to him is that he talks about the most neurotypical topics in the most obviously neurodivergent and, more specifically, the most obviously autistic way possible.
Ah, okay.
Without any awareness of it, and that contrast is very... He's Gatmoy. And
oh my god.
He would be very upset with you for saying that. But also would probably... No, so he would be upset with you for saying that, but he would also know exactly what that means, and he would be mad at himself for knowing what that means. So I'm sure you can see why he is known colloquially as your streamer's favorite streamer, because if you like a streamer who is, like, somewhat more recent than the past decade, or, like, has come up in the last decade, chances are they are a Northern Lion fan. Anyway, sorry.
Damn, I didn't know this.
Yes,
Wild.
Sorry, I went on a, like half the cast of Hololive, for example, or Hololive EN rather, are Northern Lion fans. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm autistic. I went on a special interest tangent. I really like Northern Lion.
We all have special interest tangents, Fuzzy. You're fine.
Yes, but the autism adds flavor. Special interest is the dish, but the specific mental illness is the seasoning. Yes. In my case, the seasoning is autism.
Well, Fuzzy, you know what they say, the spice must flow.
Do you remember what we were talking about before I got onto that tangent?
We were briefly tangenting into Fate while talking about
the Fate. Yes,
about
we need a canary in the coal.
appropriation in world building and stuff.
Yeah, no, okay, I remember now. No, we need a canary in the coal mine for the Fate designs because.
So what I have done, I've already started compiling the images for the list. What I've done is I have taken the icons for the characters, which are just like mugshots basically, and downloaded the images of that. So instead of it being like the full shots for the tier list, it'll just be the headshots.
Okay, but
so we can place the headshots while y'all look at the wiki. And actually see the whole
Okay, I was gonna say, because it is not enough to just have the headshots. Especially for Mill.
Yeah.
Even for us, to be honest.
We would go through the wiki.
Yes.
But yeah.
What we would probably have to do actually is have that be one of the main have the stream, like the Twitch stream, be the tier list, but the Discord stream be the wiki window, so we can look at that.
Yes. Also, we're probably not even going to start on it until next year.
We do have a very large tier list. But yes, so cultural appropriation. I'm going to send you a link to the chat, or to the thing I was looking at, because while I do disagree with a lot of Slava Zizek's points, he does make some very good points about how modern sort of, shall I say, how should I put this? The modern tendency of, like, affirmation and, like, safe spaces may have started veering into the direction of censorship. Just from a leftist perspective rather than, like you are... Do you get where I'm going with this? Because I'm sure you've seen some of this stuff on Tumblr as well, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where communities are... Like, a lot of the sex stuff, right? Like, where the... He is basically saying that, like, that's the most egregious example, but the people who are like, I think if a movie has bad things happening in it, it is bad. Even if the point is that those bad things are bad in the movie. Right? The fact that those people unironically exist brings me just pure, like, unfiltered agony, but, you know, this I mean, it's easier to count the things that don't at this point, so... Yeah, basically what I'm saying is you don't worry too much about the whole cultural appropriation thing, because, like, because, like, you have to be careful that you don't cross from cultural... Like, cultural sensitivity is good. Cultural sensitivity that has devolved into outright censorship? No. We should not be doing that. And we should be on the lookout for that. So what I'm saying is, you can just put asuras in. Or shuras, or however you pronounce it. You can put them in, you can call them whatever you like, you can make them do whatever you like, you can give them all Brooklyn accents, or you can just literally pull straight from whatever Vida they're from.
You know what would be really funny?
What?
To give all of them, like, Valley Girl or Surfer Dude accents.
That would be incredible. It would make so many people so mad, and I would drink their salty, salty tears.
Like, there's no real connection either. It's just, like,
no, that makes it, that's what makes it better.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah. No, do it. You need to write this down right now. Put it in your notes so neither of us forget. You are doing, even if not all of them, you do have to have at least one, like, city or planet or subspecies of them that are just all Surfer Bros and Valley Girls. Ooh, and gender swap them so that the women all speak like Surfer Bros and the men all speak like Valley Girls. You know what's fricked up about the Asuras as a species? They're probably a deeply... you could probably derive some sort of, like, deeply worrying psychoanalytical meaning from the fact that they're a race where all of the men are ugly monsters and all of the women are breathtakingly beautiful, like, supernaturally so.
You know what I could do?
What? Dude, reverse
I
it?
could just make all of them hot.
I mean, yes, that's just what you do. I was gonna say also, like, make them all femboys, but that's more of a...
Look, Fuzzy, not everyone's gonna be femboys. Though,
they should be.
I will say, there is an immortal who is basically a brainy twink with loud fashion sense.
I will also say one other thing that's going to make you upset, but
oh boy.
It must be said, my fictional kids could beat up your fictional kids.
Probably.
Yes, again, if
Look,
this was...
I'm going to be working on a higher power skill than most fiction, but that doesn't mean I think it's going to be on a higher power skill than yours.
Yeah, like when you said, oh, like multiple planets and stuff, so I was like, so not multiple galaxies? That's not your starting point?
Look, I'm not going to be doing like galactic bullshit. That's a bit too high of a scale for me.
That's where I start.
I don't have your mental illness, Fuzzy. I don't have your superpower.
Okay, let's not call. Oh, that's another thing that like really pisses me off. The whole autism, like the autism superpower thing.
Yeah, no, I am saying this as a joke.
No, I know you are. I just thought I'd mention it because it came up. Anyway, I'm in all seriousness, that's not where I'm starting, but I will say that I have specifically built some very high tiers into my power system, not because I'm obsessed with the idea of like my characters would beat your characters, but just because I want I want to establish certain like levels of common sense quantization for things that are not normally quantized in that way, which is, I understand, is a very specific mental illness, but like, you know, that's what we're here for.
This particular model quite a bit.
So what I was doing that entire time, I need these specific fish to build a thing, to craft a thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's not just mindlessly fishing. Each fish gives you different things. Different things need you dismantle them, you break them into different things, and I needed 10 roto blades, and I only had 7. So that entire time I spent
Never quite get till next time.
fishing, I caught 4 of the fish I needed, which was like just enough to finish my craft.
Nice.
But yeah,
Good old farming of materials.
yeah.
Fun
So
time.
I understand that that's a very specific mental illness, but a side effect.
Also-
yes, go ahead.
Like, you ever get like spell names or attack names that just pop into your head and you're like, oh, that sounds cool, I'm gonna file this away for later?
Do you? Okay, you know what's funny? I have an entire thing that I'm going to do about that. But
You have a whole bit prepped?
yeah, which is that
Fortuna's rig jockeys are in constant need of parts and repair, and many can't afford it.
I have an extremely
And have them seen.
specific set of characters who are essentially, their thing is that they are the power ceiling characters, as I've established,
course.
including that one guy who I cannot stop talking about because he is a single father who has adopted over 1,000 children, and he is my projection of what I want to be as a father and also what I wish I had as a father, because no writer can ever free themselves of deep-seated psychological issues and trauma. But yeah, they are because they are at the power ceiling, and they are sort of also something of an audience surrogate, because of course they are. And the reason so, okay, Jack, why don't you tell me creepy child.
E.
This is normal, right? Right? You're this is totally not an issue, right?
Don't worry about it. Anyways, continue.
Oh, you saw it too, huh? Anyway, yeah, which is because why don't you give me your best guess as to why they are the audience surrogate?
Are you talking specifically or generally?
Either answer you give is acceptable, whether you go general or specific. But there is a concrete answer. Yes.
As to why, like, dad characters are audience surrogates?
No.
or
Why those characters specifically are the audience surrogates? The people at the power ceiling.
Because people like power fantasy.
No. They're the audience surrogate in the sense of being like, they're the ones who do the fourth wall breaking and lampshade hanging, because because they're at the power ceiling, there would no longer be a conflict if they got involved in the conflict, so they just don't do that. And just like offer color commentary instead. Kind of. Anyway, so they're very genre aware. So I don't know where to do it, and I actually have an idea as to where to do it, which I'll talk to you in a bit more detail about. But they have an entire
To take time.
conversation about domain expansions.
But it also creates rubble.
Oh, domain expansion.
about how, so like, should they literally have the conversations of like, so when we're fighting and or teaching our youngins how to fight, do we teach them domain expansions or not? Because like on the one hand, they're just something that exists in the magic system, but on the other hand, like they've been done so much. I'm just like, is it overdone? Should we like, basically they?
So,
Yes, go on.
So domains, like in broader fiction, like I've only seen like 2 or 3 series actually do it more than a couple times. Namely, Fate and Jujutsu Kaisen are the ones that do it often enough to call.
Fate basically invented it, and Jujutsu Kaisen popularized it, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the 2 big ones. I do also have it in mine, but it's more of like a high-end top of the power scale type thing. So it's not something that comes up all that often unless like you're dealing with top-end characters, which you will be dealing with in my stuff, but still.
Yes, but unlike me, you have like a sense of restraint.
Restraint? What's that? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do. Speaking of restraint, actually, sorry, this is a tangent, but I think you'll agree with this.
No, I lay it on me.
People who write harem series who don't even consider a poly ending are fucking cowards.
You know what's funny? I think I've come around to the fact that the Haunted Hot Springs author might be kind of based for like intentionally like making the audience miserable by having the worst possible ending to a series.
Why do you say that?
It's really funny in hindsight. Because wasn't the thing about the Haunted Hot Spring author that he got so tired of people wanting the harem ending that he specifically made a non-harem ending and then did like a series of epilogue chapters showing how everyone is miserable without the harem ending? Isn't that what happened with that series?
So I don't think he did the. Didn't hear anything about him doing it specifically because of that. But yes, he basically just did the whole thing of like, yeah, no, everyone's miserable now, and only the 2 main characters get a happy ending. Everyone else has a fucking bad time.
Like, if he did that because he's stupid, then that's fine. But if he did it on purpose just to piss people off, that's kind of funny. It's still bad writing, but it's funnier if depending on the motivation.
Yes. I still think it's shitty, though.
It is. No. I'm not gonna argue with you. But I think it's rather than it's more of an everyone sucks here situation. Right? Like, he's a piece of garbage, but I feel like a lot of the fans did deserve it.
I didn't even get into the fandom, fortunately, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yes, well,
But yes.
as we've established, you have a different mental illness, and mine sort of makes that harder to not just like look at the
I'm
fandom.
a consummate lurker when it comes to online activity.
Yeah, I cannot do that, and it is probably not great for my health, mentally or physically.
Fuzzy, you gotta learn how to lurk. Just lurk.
Well, okay, there's also the problem of I did also spend more time than I should have lurking in places where I shouldn't have lurked.
Yeah, that'll do it. But yeah, no, getting back to my point, though, like, again, it's pretty fucking cowardly to just be like, yeah, I have all these characters who are all varying degrees of connected and attached to each other. I'm not even going to consider hooking all of them up into one big polycule. Fuck you guys.
Also, here's the thing, though.
I need you to get inside enemy data vaults and retrieve
Here's the problem.
intelligence data.
Yeah?
As someone... So my main thing is going to be, like...
Don't let it escape.
For the sake of... My main sort of, like... dream eventual couple is a 4-woman polycule.
Yes, of course.
But here's the problem. Because I'm mentally ill, which is a theme at this point, because I'm mentally ill, I have to come to terms with the fact that what that means is I'm going to have to write, at minimum, 6 different books for each 2-person combination an introduction because of the way I've structured my story. So the prologue of that storyline is going to be 6 books long.
Damn.
You can see how that's a problem, can't you?
Fuzzy, I am no stranger to that spiraling sensation that you're just that you're
In
talking
way over
about.
your head?
Because what originally started for me as a bunch of short stories as kind of a prequel to my main story has spiraled into a fucking 10-volume epic that I'm planning to do, basically as a lead up to another 10-volume epic.
I wish I could end in 20 volumes.
No, the funny... What... You wanna know what makes this funnier? You
What?
wanna know what makes this funnier? The second series was originally going to be like 20-odd volumes before I was convinced, no one's gonna read that, you need to cut that down. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think I can figure out a way to condense it down to 10 volumes, that's more digestible. And then I'm like, but the background lore I've come up with for this, though... Oh, there's some juicy stuff here. Oh, god damn it, I'm back up to 20 volumes now.
No, like, that's... because I know the nature of my mental illness and the futility of trying that, I just don't even entertain the idea that I'm going to cut it down. Because, like, there's no point, because I won't be able to...
Smarter than I.
Well, depends on what
At
you
least
mean
in
by...
that specific regard.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, even in that regard, I think it's a matter of perspective of whether that's a better or worse decision, if you think about it.
Look, not everyone's gonna make optimal decisions at the end of the day.
Actually, like, as psychologists, we know for a fact that no one is. Human beings are, like, hardwired to be a species that sees the optimal decision and specifically avoids it. That's our entire ecological niche, is not making the optimal decision in any situation.
Now, let's be fair, Fuzzy. Sometimes we make the optimal decision by accident.
Look, we don't count optimal decisions, Georg. He is an outlier and should not be counted.
I love that meme.
It's really one of the good ones. Like, I, as with most sane individuals, kind of hate Tumblr, but I also love it because, you know.
See, what I enjoy about Tumblr is that I have been able to curate my experience with Tumblr very effectively.
Yeah, I don't have the, I did not get into Tumblr young enough to be able to do that, and as a result, I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
No, that's fine. That's why you use curated Tumblr on Reddit.
Yes, that is, yes. Because I like the content, I do want it to not have to, like, take the effort to actually, like, think about the content, like filter the content in a way that, because at a certain point, that just becomes the job, right? Like, this is my relaxation time, not the, I'm going to, like, make spreadsheets and, like, figure out how to properly, do content well.
Yeah.
But yes, but yes, the thing that I was trying to get at is very simple. I have a very specific way that my mental illness encourages me to be into fiction, and that is a niche that I have not found. I've basically found so little in my preferred niche that I just have to write it myself, and I hate that because I have realized something, Jack, about myself.
You're
Fundamental.
snoring, dreamer. My machines are tougher than that.
I am not a writer, really. At the core of my
Stay
being.
focused. There's a
I'm a reader.
approaching.
What I'm truly passionate about is reading and the act of reading and everything that comes with reading. The problem is that my mental illness means I have extremely specific tastes, that I have not found. And so I am forced to... Basically, it's the, well, I guess I'll have to do it myself meme.
Yes, the Thanos meme. Yeah.
Yes. It's the fine, I'll do it myself meme. And I have died. This is not a mission that can be done... Oh, I'm so stupid. I accidentally had solo mode turned on a mission I can't do solo.
I'm solo. I'm hot
No,
solo.
no.
I'm hot solo.
No.
Sorry.
We don't do that here. Anyway. Yeah, so I was just like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do it myself. And so I'm going to, but I'm not happy about it.
Look, I'll do it, but I'm gonna complain the whole time, okay?
Yes. Soldier Sacred Right and all that.
Yes.
But,
It'd be really fun. It's really funny whenever that kind of thing pops up in a book. Like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. I'm gonna complain the whole time, but I'll do it.
that you have just described everything I do. Also, I'm probably gonna, like, see if I get any squad mates on this mission, and if I don't, I'm going to bounce and then end the stream.
Smart.
Because we have hit the 2-hour mark, though. Also, look at this. It's large guns in space, while I am a ninja in space, with a very questionable outfit in space.
Hold on.
Yes.
I think I have.
Why don't we have that on the global soundboard?
We have this on the main server soundboard.
Yes. Now,
We also have
Warframe is a
this.
fantastic game. I think you might actually enjoy it if you are based on some of the games you've shown enjoyment in.
Which game did you say?
Warframe, the one I'm playing right now.
I might, but I have a lot of other shit on my backlog.
Oh, I know. But, no, the reason I mention it is because it's one of those plug-and-play mission. You can literally just do a single 10-15 minute run and then just quit whenever you want. Because that's the advantage of it being mission-based. But yes, what I was gonna say is that, yeah, one of my... Again, I say my main at this point because I literally do have to create 1,000 individual characters for my, ideal dad to adopt.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
No pressure.
Yeah, I believe the number is like 1,000 and something. We never really get into the minutia of how many exactly, because there's some wiggle room. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, there's 1,000.
So, Fuzzy,
huh?
You're probably gonna hate me saying this, but I'm gonna say it. You're going to have to play favorites with who you give focus to.
No. I have a plan. I'm gonna get into it because I don't want to do it off stream because it's something I have not seen mentioned. It's not necessarily original because it has been done before, but in the modern day it's rare and I don't want to blow up my spot. So I have a plan in that regard.
Look at that
So you're the
scrawny creature. Where's the
Okay.
But, no. What I was gonna say is, like, I have some core characters that I do want to focus on, right? Like, I know. And one of those groups of... And there are more groups of core characters, because most of my stuff is ensemble-based. So, like,
Naturally.
it'll be, like, Ensemble A or Ensemble B that I'm doing, right? Like, that's the sort of dynamic I'm going for. One of those
I feel like
ensemble...
ensemble-based storytelling doesn't get enough rep.
Yeah, it's great, but it's no, because it's hard, right? It's hard to
It's
like
difficult,
do
yeah.
right. So like, I'm doing much more like grounded solo focused stuff before I even think about doing more ensemble based stuff. But yeah, it's one of the ensembles I'm following is which I'm going to say for spoiler reasons is a 5-woman polycule. So I will have to have the meet. Each of them is going to have a meet cute for like on a 1v1 level, and then each of them is going to have like an expansion route, like an MMO, where they. Because like I'm not going to do every possible combination because that way lies madness, and even I'm aware of that. But I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff, which is nice because I do like writing about them. But like it's
Your operator form is key. Target the other.
That's what, 10 different combinations of characters or something with 5?
no. No, there's 4,
There's a
first of all.
hybrid approaching.
You said 5.
That's a spoiler and shall not be counted for now. No, other than that, what I was, like, basically I have, but yes, you're right, I have, like, at least 6. So the minimum for, because there's a formula for this, by the way, and this is a formula you might want to keep handy in your brain, because it's kind of something that comes up a lot, is, I believe the formula is
I don't like it. Not one bit.
n factorial over n minus 1.
Queen's Kuva siphon.
Yeah.
We can't allow any of these to survive.
Good old factorials.
Or no, it's n factorial over n minus 1 factorial, or something. No, I forget. I've already forgotten, is the problem.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah, it's the unique combination for...
Factorial formula.
Yes.
So n factorial equals n times n minus 1. Oh, that's different.
Yeah, no, that's just what n factorial is. It's the combination formula that uses n factorial. You can find it by looking up n factorial combination formula.
Factorial combination. Okay.
We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
But yeah,
A combination equals n factorial over... Oh, Jesus Christ. So it's work... Okay.
anyway, we don't have to get too focused in on this right now. I can find it for you later. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I was getting at is that it's 6 combinations for that I need to do for that specific polycule. But that's, I think, part of the reason why a lot of authors don't do it, because it's a lot more work than just doing will they, won't they, followed by either a generic harem ending or just, you know, the boring ending of monogamy. Which, okay, I should not call it the boring ending, because I don't think I don't think monogamy is bad, like, there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It's more just like it's one of those things where you have to think about it a little bit more before you get it. Anyway, yeah, so I am going to do that, and it's going to be interesting, but it is daunting.
All writing is daunting, Fuzzy.
Another job well executed.
It's so fucking daunting.
Yeah. But yes, I think that about wraps it up for us.
I just wanted to fuck around with the soundboard.
Okay, well, maybe wait for the yes. So, thank you everyone for joining us. We have monetization options now. You can find us at Patreon, or there's a coffee link from the Coffee Stream bot here, which is patreon.com/StorytimeNetworkOfficial, or coffee.com/StorytimeNetworkOfficial. We have some very basic plans. We are still under construction, but there's some, I think, interesting things we are going to be doing there that we will be happy to share with you if you exist. Listen to me. Yes, you. I'm speaking to you specifically right now. You exist. But,
Hello, fellow human.
yes. But here's the thing. You exist, but so do we. And to continue to exist, we need money. But we'll get into that later. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays and Sundays. 4 times a week, varied cast. We sometimes yap, sometimes we do things that are quote-unquote productive, but if you enjoy watching, and if you were, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube or live, please give us a follow and like and subscribe and hit the bell icon and leave a comment if you enjoyed the video if you're on YouTube. Thank you everyone for joining us. Good night.
Later.